Hello everybody, we are back. It's been a while, but I think we are finally ready to actually finish Canto 5, or at least get somewhere close to it. I don't know if we're gonna make it this stream. You know, we only have enough energy for about 3 more levels, but I'm hoping at least a couple of them are story. That being said, let's get on into it. Unfortunately, I did beat Ricardo off camera. I meant to record it, but just when doing a practice session, I just won. Unless there's gonna be a part 2, of course, I don't know. Good, you nicked my sunglasses. Too bad. You'll have to try again. Damn it. I didn't face all those waves just to... As long as I can keep trying, I can... The mist thickens. It expands, devouring everything. Our futures, our hopes, and any slim chance of victory we had. And so does the fog of my sight, of my mind. Will this continue until either Ismail gives up, or until he gets tired of this little game? Until he simply walks over and crushes my clock? Could Virgilus piece my shattered clock back? I mean, I assume there's something valuable in there. There's at least a part of a burrow. Though we don't need that for functioning. That'd still be a loss. Is that even possible? If I did as Faust told me and blew up my head, not even a shred of me would be... Your repertoire is starting to get old. How about we just zoom right past that into the main event? I call this clock bassing. Ah, darn. Yeah, we are not making it out of this one. No, Dante! Run! Get out of here! That clock fellow's gotta be someone so very precious to you, Just look at her hanging onto my leg after all that beating. Not the manager, no, not Dante, not Dante. Should I press the button? I mean, I don't know what we're gonna gain from pressing it. Is that really going to be my last ever thought? There was a distant sound, like an answer to my question. A solemn sound told clearly through the blinding fog. It was a skiff, one much smaller, much more modest than ours. From beyond the misty veil, the skiff slowly glided across the water in our direction. On it was a solitary figure holding an oar. A giant harpoon was attached to the bow of the ship. This is interesting. If Sauron wasn't already established as a character, I would call this person Sauron. Like, look at them. They look very Sauron-y. Driving a ferry boat across the Great Lake and all that. This is fascinating. But why? The big brother of the middle, who could probably break that puny skiff in half with his bare hands, stares at it in stunned silence. It became clear that the skiff didn't float here by accident when the figure on the boat began gently rowing in our direction. Through the mist, we saw something flash atop the skiff. The figure hurled something in our general direction. It flew so fast that no human eye could catch it. I didn't even have time to register that something was thrown before I noticed that something was piercing the big brother's left shoulder. Then a powerful shockwave, far mightier than anything the pirates had fired earlier, struck us. The air itself quaked. It was not a distance that most people would even think about jumping across, but the figure had leaped from the skiff to the lobotomy corp branch gracefully and with agility. Brand new character, then. Personally, I was assuming that the person who was going to save us was gonna be Rim from inside the building, that he was gonna be still around here. But apparently no, it's a brand new person. The man from the middle, who so far had appeared unassailable, stumbled and fell to his knees. His shoulder was skewered. Ha, you. That's when I finally noticed that what the figure had thrown was a harpoon. A harpoon too immense to be thrown by a mere person, let alone at such a blinding speed. The hooded figure's arm was reefed in a familiar light. You old geezer. So you thought you were out there fishing. What, you think you're some hot shit now that they made you a color? Wait, hold up, this guy's a color? Just because you hunted the marlin whale? Are you challenging the middle to a hunt like we're some whale? That it? The marlin whale. Okay. Wait a second. This is something I've been thinking about for a little bit here. There are the 5 great calamities, they're secretly 4. And there are the 5 great ports. We don't know anything about them. But there's a marlin whale and a marlin port. Is it that, like, every port has a calamity connected to it in some form? I don't know for sure, but that's my current theory on this situation here. There's a marlin port, there's a marlin whale, and theoretically there'd also be a pallid port, and then 3 other ports we're probably never going to learn about. You're not the kind of idiot that would attack me without knowing the consequences. The middle is no different from a whale, but that's not why I am here. I'm just after a fish that got away. Ha ha ha, of course you are. I'm sure there's no need for me to remind you that the middle never forgets. Shut up, Ricardo. Feel free to write me down in the remaining margins of that nasty little book if you wish. The old man tugs at the harpoon lodged in the big brother's shoulder. Fine. The big brother tried to hold his ground against the harpoon's pole until there was a crunch. Those that do not bend break. The harpoon tore off his entire shoulder with it. It was a force that would have turned most people into tattered meat. Not bad. Would you like to give it another try? Fine, I'll leave for now, but don't you forget. The middle remembers. It doesn't matter what I did here. The middle will remember everyone and everything that dared turn their back on it. Interesting. So I guess that means that, like, from now on, we're gonna have to keep fighting the middle. Like, the middle is just enemies with Limbus Company. Which I bet is going to have some implications once we get into more Syndicate stuff. And the middle always pays its debts, in whichever form. Ismail and I had no choice but to watch in silent awe as the old man approached us. The harpoon was still in his hand, and if he wished to strike us with it, we could never hope to get out of his way. I'm looking for the fist that consumed this structure. Well, why that's mighty convenient. We're also looking for the fish that consumed the structure. We have so much in common. Do you want to go out with me? Are you two also here to fish? No, we're not getting... These cutscenes, they end so abruptly. Like, that's my one confusion with this game's writing. The cutscenes, they just, like, suddenly aren't anymore. Don't really seem to have an ending to them. But okay, things are looking promising so far. We've got another story cutscene, and then, yeah, I think if this is story and the last one was story, that should mean that conclusively it's all story. Like, we're not gonna run out from here on out. I think. We might come up one sort, depending on if... No, we couldn't. We're good then. That was unexpected. This was unexpected of you, Faust. For you, of all sinners, to be the one to bring aboard a big sot to our humble abode. Big sot? In another universe, he takes the role of Cromer. This is a confirmed Deltarune sequel. Do you have any ideas how many times that prick killed us? The least you could do is... Yes, that reminds me, I'll have to reopen my personal consultation hours for certain kleptomaniac among us. Virgilus, eat my asshole. You are not doing the one thing your job is to do, keep the big sots off of us. Virgilus' obvious discontent at the involvement of an outsider didn't seem to bother Faust. Well, if you didn't want an outsider involved, you should have done your fucking job, Virgil. I can't possibly feel sorry for you. You 100% fucked up here. This is no one else's fault. I considered him indispensable to the completion of this mission. And why is that? Because I am the only one who can hunt that pallid whale. Of course you are. The Indigo Elder. Interesting. So this is indeed another color fixer who can apparently hunt calamities, which I don't know how strong the pallid whale is. I guess we'll see when we get there. This is probably one of the highest feats we've seen from a color, just going off of how strong like regular enemies associated with it are. Indigo? He is a color? Thou meanest to say that I am at this very moment sharing a space of not one but two color fixers? Don's gonna have an aneurysm if we keep this up. I heard that you were wandering the Great Lake to hunt its whales. Wait, no, that's the wrong voice from. I heard that you were wandering the Great Lake to hunt its whales. And last I heard, you hunted one of the 5 calamities, the all-impaling marlin whale. The old man grunted. It was neither a confirmation nor denial, but it was the way the old man was. Everyone understood that. All circumstantial evidence suggested the golden bough was devoured by the whale stranded at the Great Lake. Yes, that very same pallid whale of the 5 calamities, normally observed in the outskirts. Of course, that's how these things always tend to go. We've wasted much time, so I'll be blunt. Oh, good to know what your damage type is. I would have expected piercing given that you fire the harpoon. But okay. Good to know, at least. That could be relevant when we need to put you in a team. Yes, and time's all we have. No, we don't have much time. We got 11 months until the calamity from the opening sequence. Moreover, we know where the whale is headed. And I am certain that you have spent a significant amount of time observing and learning that whale to hunt it. I've got a plan. And I'll do anything to make it work, even if you want me there only as bait. And this is how we'll do it. The crowd fell silent when Ismael finished explaining her plan. You're mad. All that thrashing's finally sent you off the deep end. I'm just going there for my mission, and the golden bough just happens to be in the same direction. I'll leave it up to you, well, to the manager, since their decision matters the most. This company, me, we're both just trying to find a way to reach our goals. That's all this is. Besides, does anyone have a better idea? Oh, hi, Pancake Good. Nice to meet you. How you doing? Those are some cute emotes. No, can't agree to that. We're making a mistake even by entertaining that balmy idea. I must ask you one last thing. Will you join us to fish, Red? Of course the Red Gaze isn't going to do anything. He has never done anything. Congratulations on getting first. The Indigo Elder suddenly broke his silence with a question. Oh yeah, I saw that you didn't need to explain that. I'm not experienced or particularly skilled at hunting marine life, but I have other, more important concerns that prevent me from joining. Just realized the music was a bit quiet, I'm turning it up. So no, unless the worst comes to pass, I will not take part. And even if the worst comes to pass, you still won't take part if Ricardo's anything to go by. The old man rose from his seat and walked off as though he was about to leave. Wait a moment. We don't need the guide. With a proper plan, we are more than capable of completing this mission. To give up so quickly is... I never said I am. This loud, screaming sip won't do in our hunt for the pallid whale. Screaming? I didn't think Mephistopheles was that loud. To hunt it, the boat must remain near and covert. A narrow and sturdy boat is what we need. Huh? So all you needed to hear was that Virgilus wasn't gonna help out? Why? Right? This could go much smoother if Virgie was with us. We can prepare a boat that fits your specifications should you request it. That's alright. I'll sail on my own skiff. How dingy? That whale could split it in two with a light wag of its tail. No, that skiff. It may not look like much, but it is extremely durable. I see that X-Corp's alloys have been used in its construction. That could not have been an easy ingredient to come by. Ooh, new Corp information? Interesting. This X-Corp does not seem similar to XX Company from Lobotomy Corp, given that the only thing we know that company makes is robots. Although maybe the robots could be made out of this alloy? Ooh, another benefit of having a color bestowed upon thee then? I have heard tale of... Instead of entertaining that bombardment of questions, he approached me. I noticed it in the earlier scuffle. The clock seems to have been you and your crew's lifeline. I know not how it works, but I presume it is a singularity of sorts. It will not work against the whale. So start now. Get used to the idea that not everything can be brought back. Why did you accept, even after Virgilus opted out? It was a question I've been unable to let go. Dante asked why you've accepted our request, even after Virgilus opted out of it. You asked me the wrong question. I would have denied your request, had Red agreed to take part. Interesting he only calls him Red. Like, he doesn't call him Virgie. I mean, of course his real name is Virgilus, but, you know, he doesn't call him by any of those names. I mean, reasonable. I wouldn't want to go anywhere with Virgilus if I was given the opportunity. Let's say that Red joined us. We would together battle the whale in a long and arduous struggle. In the end, the whale would certainly go down, taking one of us with it. Please do that, Root, and please have it be Red. That is why I would have opted out if Red chose to join us. Huh? Because the hunt would no longer be mine. Whatever dost thou mean? Thy intentions elude me. I mean that I would not be able to test the limits. The limits? What are you even talking about? Look, to hunt that whale, we have to prepare with everything we have. And out of fear, humans draw borders even to the outskirts that lie beyond the city limits. Draw borders even to the outskirts. Beyond it are stars that lie beyond the edge of understanding, beyond even the concept of fear itself. I am but a fisherman seeking to cross the borders and challenge that very understanding. Okay, yeah, he very much is trying to go to the outskirts. Talking about what lies beyond the outskirts? Its outreaches? That whale devours everything. It brings nothing but calamity. How could you... Ah, so you have been prey once, sailor. Countless lakes here also devour, summon calamities. If you find yourself at a crossroads, you find that your life is worth nothing in the face of what lies before you. Recall this conversation. I'm no good with advice, never was. Still, I thought I'd part a few words. As a fellow seafarer, suppose I felt a bit of kinship. As per the old man's directions, we rowed off in the skiff prepared on Mephistopheles. I saw Ismail moments before boarding the skiff on Mephistopheles. This was Ismail's plan, but I had no way of knowing what she was really thinking. I had an inkling, yes. And so far I'd been going along with those vague guesses. Vague guesses that led to disasters. Yeah, you have sure been doing that. So I had to ask her myself. Ismail, what do you really want? What I really want... I see another vision of Ismail. She was hiding it well from the other sinners and Virgilus, but I could clearly see what she really wanted, her true desire. Ismail, you... She was lifting a body from the waters. A body that was torn asunder, shattered bones, strips of muscle, tissue, flesh. Ismail trembled with elation at what looked like the captain's mutilated corpse. Jesus, you really are just as insane as the rest of us.
뭐예요?
What?
얼른 가죠.
Come on, let's get going. That was kind of funny, just the contrast. Alright, we got... Wait a second. Is it just me, or does this kind of look like we're reaching the edge of the world here? Like, this looks pretty darn big. Although, there are colored boxes around it. Let's see, let's get out a little bit further before we jump to conclusions. Now, this is the part of the game where I would usually do an extraction, but... we do not have anything to extract at the moment. So, that's not working. We can't. So, I guess we're just gonna keep going, which is, pretty rare for us. But, yeah, but nothing. I guess we're just gonna keep going straight right along. Oh, wait, something? Oh yeah, I forgot, I got the Pequod first mate, and I never did anything with it. In that case, let me go over... Also, this is giving some pretty major friggin' spoilers, given that I have not met any Pequod people. But, I mean, so far, every set of new characters has been spoiled by their IDs. Seems that's just a fact of life here. Oh. I think this team works well enough. Oh, let me do one thing, though. I have gotten... Alright, I actually got a bunch of those XP tickets. So let's max level her. There we go. She's up to level 40. And... it would be kind of a crime to do this without taking Ismail, wouldn't it? Fine, we can deploy an Ismail. I wish I had any of the characters that I want for Ismail, though. Ismail and Rodian are the only characters I don't really have anything I like yet. As we discussed earlier, we took a different route from the Indigo Elder. We were the first to arrive at separate destinations for our plan. Something's floating over there. Not long after we crossed the line where the lake water turned dark gray, we noticed something pale peeking out from the lake. Are those islands? There's a lot of them. They may be reefs. Perhaps that is this lake's challenge. We navigate it while avoiding them to the best of our abilities. Well, they sure do look rocky, but they're too big to be called reefs. Do you sense aught, Dante? We may attempt to discover a path that does not lead to an area cluttered with such obstacles, if that would require us to hazard a path unknown. It may lead to this plan's ruin. If you can sense even the most general direction of the Golden Bough, please relay it to me. I can use that to approximate its location. I can assure you that to a degree of accuracy, now that we have the additional data provided by the Indigo Elder. Huh? Why couldn't you have just been our magic compass to begin with, Clockhead? They are able to do this only under the peculiar conditions of the Great Lake, which is very few in the way of obstacles. Interesting. I wonder what it counts as an obstacle then. The urban areas of the city... Oh, thank you for telling me, Faust. The urban areas of the city are dense with structures both high and low and into the underground. The higher population density also complicates matters. Considering that Dante can detect golden boughs only in close proximities, considering that there may be insurmountable obstacles in our way, their sense will not be of much help there. Tsk. So they're back to being just your usual Clockhead anywhere else. Huh, so that's why I could feel the golden bough here, even when it was so far away? Yeah, I guess that's why. Good to know. I raised my finger and pointed it towards the general direction of the vague feeling. Confirmed. We will turn the ship around in that direction. It smelled wordlessly steered the ship according to Faust's words. We drew ever nearer to the island or a reef. A heavy silence descended upon the sinners. I wonder, I mean probably not, but I wonder if you could live out here. Like, this is land of some kind. Oh. Until I smelled grasped a sudden realization. It's this lake. There was an incomprehensible look on Ismael's face. Maybe I saw unrestrained joy, the joy of finding something she's been searching for so long. It's an overwhelming, all-consuming happiness that her facial muscles began to twitch on their own. Maybe I saw extreme fear, the fear in the face of the destined, unavoidable horror. The lake's splashing waves hit her trembling face and rolled down her cheeks. Or maybe she was sweating from dread. Ismael, do you have any new information to share with us? Yeah, here. I know what to do from here. I know exactly what to do. Otis, I can't clearly see what's in front of us from back here. Tell me precisely what you see. Their numbers, their sizes, all of it. Trying to avoid the wild currents and find a safe path around these rocks? Understood. Otis nodded emphatically before rising from her seat to gaze the path ahead. She balanced herself as the ship rocked. About 350 meters ahead, minuscule plane-patterned glistening rock. About 500 meters ahead of there is a medium-sized rock. It has a bump on top of it that stands out. Continue. And not so far ahead from there is a large island with a rough, porous surface. Upon closer inspection, it's like an archipelago of 3-4 similar islands. Good. Isabel began fiddling with the steering gear and the engine's output levers, as though something had clicked in her mind. Good, we've made it past the first rock. And these guys are actually serving as a functional team for the moment. That definitely doesn't always happen. Its texture was a bit different from that of a normal rock, wasn't it? GE. Thank you for disclosing a power company. That's not the texture of a rock or even soil. We just passed the second one. Oh wait, what's so weird about the texture? I can't even see over the big boy in the long one. That there is a living, breathing thing. What? Wait. Swabi, watch where you're steering. The ship. We're gonna crash into that third rock at this rate. And that's what I'm going to do, Otis. That's where we get off. The rock? That creepy porous rock over there? Oi, feel free to crash into a rock on your own free time, but don't take all of us with you. There's not even a single tree up there, let alone a person. What the bloody hell are we anchoring there for? You gotta screw your head on in a different direction on the Great Lake, Heathcliff. What are you talking about? A loud suck and near-splitting sound of the skiff scratching and sliding against something cut Heathcliff off. You even know where you're going, woman? Oh yes, he knows. Ryusu. Wait, that white color, Ismail? Yeah, those aren't islands or rocks. We thought were islands suddenly rumbled, vibrating as ground tremors from an earthquake. They're all part of a whale. A colossal creature shudders as it wakes from a long slumber. Wow. Now, looks like we're coming into some form of combat. Yep. Dude standing on a whale. Pallid bloom mermaid. Alright, workable. Wait, it's invisible for some reason. That's absurd. They're all invisible. Strong. This is
씹는 맛이 있는데?
약화되는 것 같습니다. 탈출 개체가 정리되었습니다.
these guys are okay. I assume this is just a glitch because this would be very weird if this is intentional. Damn, that was a complete waste of a self-destructive purge. I can't honestly think of any less uses of a self-destructive purge than that one that we just had. It's quite possibly the worst self-destructive purge there has ever been in the history of purges. I don't know how you would come to the conclusion to do that. On the other hand, the subsequent attacks have been pretty good. People are going crazy, but that benefits the people who we wanted to. I don't think we have any actual trouble right now.
씹는 맛이 있는데? 씹는 맛이 있는데?
개체가 약화되는 것 같습니다. 탈출 개체가 정리되었습니다.
There we go. That's a victory.
제압 완료. 경보에는 익숙해지시는 게 좋을 겁니다.
Wait a second, it just occurred to me. Why exactly do you still get as an EX objective reward copper tickets or like grade 1 excavation tickets? Who could possibly want that? Who would ever want that? I cannot imagine a situation where you would want that.
싱싱한 풀이 보이네.
That is an absurd request to me. Alright.
좋아. 얼른 끝내고 밥 먹으러 가자고.
깡참.
I'll get one more like regular level, which is fine by me.
씹는 맛이 있는데?
힘 조절이
Yeah, there there. Unfortunate. This was a little bit harder than most previous ones. These guys randomly go invisible.
조금씩 끝이 보이네요.
한바탕 해볼까?
But it does not seem to be providing them with any kind of tactical advantage to be randomly invisible. So I will not question it too much more.
완전 무력화.
끝내고
There we go,
꼭
that's this
도전하게
level
생각한다.
finished.
그치?
탈출
Or wait,
개체가
no, there's
준비되었습니다.
gonna be a second wave, I bet.
근방의 싸움.
Yep, with the still flickering in and out of reality blue whales. Yep, there they go. They are once again invisible. Ah, darn! I think one of is one of my guys didn't get to win the class. Oh, well, it was late enough in the chain. I'm sure it's not even gonna get to them.
피어나라.
We are pretty easily shredding through these whales. Oh nope, there they go.
없을 것이오.
Oh, we can handle one class lock. Ooh, class. We are really having some trouble there, Faust. Faust. Okay, that was a good hit, so I forgive you, but you have not been classing well today, Faust. I didn't realize this is a Howard and Blue Mermaid. Howard Blue Mermaid. Howard and Blue Mermaid. Okay, I don't seem to understand what the correlation is because both the smallest and largest one are Howard and Blue. And what is the difference between being Howard Blue and Howard and Blue? I don't exactly see the point, but okay.
좋아. 좋아. 훌륭.
Either way, less important than that is the fact that several whales are now dead.
준비되었습니다.
다시 못 살게 구는
Is
일은
that all
없을
cleared out? That
것이오.
is indeed all whales cleared out. Big fan of that.
좋아.
Right, I get it now. All of these rocks were actually whales. Get that mermaids pop out of those pores. But I think it's a loony thing at that. Why are we even drawing their ire, huh? We could have just gone around them.
스트레스 해소?
Looking to let off some steam, hankering for a game of whack-a-mole all of a sudden, is that it?
그럴 리가 있나요?
Of course not.
제가 알고 있는데
This is just the only method I know. You better be ready to explain what you're talking about. Heathcliff, furious, wasn't the only sinner looking at Ismail with expectant eyes. There were Otis and the other sinners who all looked to her for some answers. Ismail. And I was too, of course. Huh. I also didn't think I'd actually be doing this. So there's this legend-like tale. Legend? Each lake of the Great Lake has its own culture, with many wandering around and choosing to call those places their homes. So naturally, there's many tales as there are lakes. But there's that one tale of a certain lake that is passed down orally from sailor to sailor, just like the legends of old. The legend of the gloomy gray. Legend of the gloomy gray lake of wafting and rumbling. Sailors sang the legend of that lake, passing it down for years upon years. Doom and hay veiled path to the misty seas. Begloom and let whales draw their pearls in search of pallid hue. Tomb shall be thy mist path, heeding the weeping whales. Whatever does that mean? It's simple. Hit the poorest whales to wake them, draw them out and hunt their mermaids, and the path to the pallid whale should clear of the mist.
그러니까
You really believe that? You expect us to just believe that hogwash?
야,
Blimey, didn't think I'd ever get to say these words before my deathbed, but...
너 멍청하냐?
Are you stupid? God, Heathcliff.
야,
Listen, what does waking these whales up have to do with getting rid of that thick fog? It's gotta make it even a little bit of sense, no?
피스클리프 씨가
Heathcliff discusses the correlation between actions and consequences. This truly is a rare experience indeed. Oh, set your trap, Faust.
왜안 돼?
Shut up, smartass, I'm serious. And you think that the law that sends waves after us if we don't cross the borders at the exact right moment makes sense? Huh? You think that the law that makes us go in circles before reaching our destination, the law that doesn't let us go back the way we came from, makes any sense? I've been telling you this the whole time. Common sense has no place in the Great Lake. It's just the way this place works, okay? Just you have to accept that.
좋아.
Fine, I'll give you that, but they're like the laws of the city. As outlandish as they are, there's still strict laws that can be calculated into those variable coordinates or whatnot. What you're blathering about here is some vague old song. Am I supposed to believe something so absurd?
내가 직접
Yes,
봤으니까.
because I've seen it myself.
그 옛날에
Years ago, when a young, stupid, but motivated sailor boarded the ship, she had the most unfortunate opportunity of witnessing this very legend with her own eyes.
그렇게
Because that's how she saw the pallid whale. Kiefer fell silent, scratching his head. The rest of the sinners also nodded and began whispering. I really don't like you.
네가 진짜 마음에 안 들어.
비춰.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
정말
I don't like any of this. But I know you're not the kind of lass to lie or tell tall tales just to get the upper hand in a petty squabble.
흰 소리를 늘어놓진 않아. 어디?
Fine, let's go all the way to the end. I'll keep whacking these mole-like things with this glove.
나도 납득했다.
I can also accept your explanation, but from now on I would appreciate it if you could share your knowledge with us first before doing anything. I'll
어떤
try.
의미에선
In a way, I'm relieved we now have a definite path forward. Yeah, well, let's go find our next whale.
명령하신 대로
Yes, Executive Manager.
청원.
All aboard, men!
과연
Truly, the ocean mist is splitting as though a blade is hewn in half. Once we eliminated the mermaids of the last whale singled out by— oh, we're just skipping there? Okay. The fog slowly began to fade. Behind it was a different lake beyond the gray sea. Ah, finally. A different lake beyond the gray sea. So all that means is we're necessarily leaving this area.
제압 완료. 경보에는 익숙해지시는 게 좋을 겁니다. 아직
This on the other hand looks like a
50일까지
very,
많은 날이 남은 것을
very rigid.
파우스트는 알고 있으니까요.
Alright, I guess I don't move this up and down enough. I just noticed that the train moves. Wait, I usually do that. That's okay. Well, irregardless, here we have the story cutscene to end all story cutscenes. And we'll now right in front of us. The Pallid Whale 2. The weather there is quite hostile. Mersault was right. The lake beyond the borders was nigh pitch black. The waves crested tall, rising and crashing violently under the thundering rainstorm. The wild winds had begun to sway the boat. Yisong's face was starting to grow pale.
저기가
I'm starting to wonder if we can really do this.
언제나 할 수
Did we
있어.
ever let that stop us from trying? I guess that's true. Alright, heading into the zone.
이 호수의 파도는
The auto
신경
zone.
쓰지 않아도 되나?
Are there any laws of the lake that we must be mindful of?
이 앞에 있는 구역에
I don't
대한
know the
규칙을
laws of that
파괴하지
lake, nor its waves.
뱀과 열리는
I remember the way the fog split open. I remember the obsidian sea and its endless tempest.
전설이 실제 아닌
For the rest of it, all I remember is the captain was excitedly delivering a speech at witnessing the legends come to life, and that we were all busy preparing for the whale hunt. So what awaits us is a real adventure. We'll be sailing blindly into the night. Then we'll face everything head on. Yes, if the or we'll have to face everything head on. Yes, if the waves come to claim us, we will face them head on. Even the whale. No signs of that whale yet, though. Back then, it attacked us mere minutes after we entered the lake. Everyone was as tense as they could ever be, looking around nervously.
저건
Wait, what's that? There's something there, something tall. Close approach is recommended. I'll have a source of light to improve our visibility. Or I have. Mersault got up with a lantern and pointed it at the light towards where Sinclair indicated.
하나가
There's
아니네요.
several of them? What's that? Hell, who put them there? What are they even for?
군대 같은 건
Maybe they're like lighthouses? Lighthouses? Yeah, I can kinda see that. Do you remember seeing anything like that, Ismail?
네.
No, I don't even have a hazy recollection of it. I've never seen it before in my... Damn, those things are... They look kind of like teeth. Ismail, has the nausea of the swaying sea gotten to you as well? Your face has grown rather pale. I know that can't be true. A C6 sailor only exists in jokes. Besides, Ismail was doing just fine mere moments ago. Then she must have had a sudden realization. I see, so that's what it looked like. Even a small part of it is a terrifying realization. But what is it? You'll find out soon enough. Now you too, Ismail, please. Even if you don't want to. There, a rogue wave ahead. All hands, brace, grab onto what you can. Before we even had the chance to say anything, a leviathan of a wave rose to its crest, then crashed down onto us from above. It sucked us deep into the lake before throwing us back to the surface. We were lucky. There's a high chance that the following vortex would have dragged the vessel deep underwater. Lucky? You saw it was down there. That was... Everyone okay? Honestly, I didn't even really process what was down there. I'll have to rewatch this one. Everyone was soaking wet, nearly hyperventilating, but mostly awestruck by what we've just witnessed. We have everyone, but... Huh? What we just sat on there were... They weren't lighthouses. They were tails of colossal whales. Wow, okay, I really want to give up now, haha. I want to go back to the time when I didn't know what the whales really looked like. So this is the lake where the whales come to sleep. Yeah, if they're deep in the water with their necks bent like that, you can see their tails rising tall over the surface. I really gotta rewatch this. But there's no way they missed this commotion. The ship is... We're keeling over! The whales are waking up! We're finally here. I think that's what Ismail whispered. When the storm, the waves buried her voice deep into the lake. If the Indigo Elder made it here as we planned... Whoa! Over yonder! Is that the whale? We didn't have to wonder for even a second what Don Quixote was screaming at. An entire herd of entities, each dwarfing every single whale we've weathered throughout this journey, emerged from the waters all at once. In unison, they began migrating in a singular direction. To witness something like that was... enough to make even Mersault gape with plain bewilderment. Wow. Looks like things are going according to plan. And we'll have to do our part. Ah! There! There was a whale that stood out even among the herd of ineffably immense whales. Pallid as the pale death, its hide thick with scar tissue. That one's particularly scarred. I found it! Yes, he was right. The wounds, the scars that the Pequod made, they're all still there. I assume that you have finally located the whale? Shut up, Virgie, I don't care anymore. I believe so, yes. As always, the chance of success must be minuscule. Indeed it is. Oarsman! Ismail thundered. Ismail? No, louder than the thunder itself. As though her personality itself had suddenly shifted. Her voice seemed to overwhelm the very storm itself. Answers, you dogs, oarsmen! Aye. Set route to that powered thing! Full speed ahead! Full speed ahead, row! Even Otis was swept up in the sudden turn of events, repeating after Ismail's bellowing commands. Is this what Ismail was like when she sailed the lakes? Or... Or was this the captain? Oh, I can't wait to get an Ismail Ahab ID. I see light. It's the Indigo Elder. The old man and his skiff were sliding across the waters towards the whale. Listen well. The rest of the awakened whales have gone after the bait I've laid for them. Then the plan worked. Now, it wasn't cool. First of all, holy shit, that's terrifying. It wasn't clear whether the thunder or the old man's bellow that awakened the pallid whale. Its eyelids began to lift. It's been so long since I've witnessed anything like this up close. It was an eye of astronomical proportions, so immense that it no longer resembled an eye, but a reflective mirror of the world. Oh, how I wish to see you eye to eye. The old man, harpoon in hand, thrust closer to the whale with a grim, stormy expression. Ismail also arms her harpoon at the great whale, her face nearly tearing with uncontrollable joy. Some sinners tremble with fear, while others prepare themselves. All of it, the world, contained in a single reflective eye that stretched even beyond our peripheral visions. Now here's your bait, Fist. Bite on it. I know you have no other choice. Biting, devouring is all you've ever known. Oarsmen, split the sea with your oars! I respect you, pallid whale. I respect that you live years in numbers I cannot begin to imagine. I respect that you hail from a place beyond my ken. But I will take this chance to stand before you, to challenge you. And if this challenge to the edge of understanding, I will row. The giant harpoon soars across the black sky with a bolt of levin and strikes the pallid whale. Now is our chance! Row on! Row on! Ismail rose tall and alone, looking straight out beyond the speeding boat, straying bow, harpoon in hand. I've been thinking ever since then about what feelings you might dig up from my heart if I saw you again. But it's much more straightforward than I expected. Nice meeting you again, you fucking whale! The outskirts, the pallid whale. Compared to the old man's harpoon, the harpoon Ismail hurled was like a needle. But it once struck, as though its body was racked by an immense, unbearable pain, the pallid whale's maw opened, and the air itself began to vibrate. Its maw opens! Holy fuck, look at that thing. That is horrifying. I hate that enormously. Go. I will now fist this beast. Every sinner heard the old man's voice. Every sinner begins rowing with all their might. In desperation, as though death itself was in our pursuit. As though it was our fate, our destiny to row. We were sucked into an endless abyss, and a rapid vortex pulled us into the maws of the beast. Tenebrious as well under a moonless sky. There was a deep noise, and like a droplet in the sea, we melted into the fathomless dark. Acknowledge, how goes the plan? Shut up, Virgie, we had something cool going. Acknowledge, hey! Looks like the radio is broken for good. Worrying. Well then, that was something incredible. That might just be one of my favorite parts of this game, now altogether. Very much enjoyed it. One quick detour before we enter into the mouth of the whale. I do definitely want to... Oh wait, 6969 Lunacy. I do definitely want to go back into main story. Damn, there's a lot of story still. Go back in here and just for a second, mess our way through. Just because I am curious what the whales actually look like, because I didn't really take a second to process it. I was too focused more on reading.
그때는 조금 하나가
등대 같은 건
네.
이 산색이
어떤 것?
Almost there.
저건
There we go. Oh, it really did only flash for like a second. That explains why I missed it. Okay, yeah, I didn't really get a good look at that. But I'll just ask some of my friends about that, see if we can get any vibes from there. I know a guy like screenshots every single frame. I'm sure he's got something. Alright, well... Okay, we got about 5 minutes left to stream, I'd say.
달빛도
So
좀
how about we just do the very opening of the dungeon? Just spend the 5 points. Oh yeah, pick my characters. There are the Ismail auto upgrades to Uptie 4 in this dungeon. If that isn't true, I'll just redo it. But now, who is my special? I know who my special support character is going to be. The one character I don't have, that I really want to have. You. Other than that, I think this team is going to be good enough.
불로 정화하고 깨끗한 세계를 세우라.
밧줄은
It is said that the Quick-Quick's ropes, tied of powerful grip and esoteric
자신만이 아닌
techniques,
세상의 그 어떤
are
매듭보다
tougher than any other rope in the world.
그리고
Quick-Quick told me to not leave her alone in the cold, dark lake,
성장인 채로
that
가라앉아서
he didn't want the whales and mermaids to tear her apart and devour her when the corpse sinks deep into its waters.
그건 나도 마찬가지였다.
I agreed.
나만이 알고 있는
The wounds on her skin that only I knew of, the memories of her pain, didn't want those monsters to heartlessly rip into them, to gouge themselves for scarred flesh. So Quick-Quick built herself a coffin, built it heartily and fastened it with ropes twisted and knotted with all her strength, that the coffin would not sink no matter how precariously the ship swayed. My hands gripping onto that very same rope tied to the coffin were starting to peel and bleed. My dearest friend's hollow coffin was the only thing keeping me afloat in that whirling lake. Is that anyone out there? Anyone? In that empty lake, stranded amidst the Pequod's desolation, I called out from the top of my lungs. Please, anyone, say something, anything. When I realized that everyone I had ever had any ties to had, in the brink of an eye, been taken from this world, my gasping, wheezing self barely holding on to life seemed. Come aboard my ship and sail with me to the cold abyss of the lake. Not even I, drowning yet breathing, could escape Captain Ahab. Even in this deafening silence, Ahab's echoing bells strangle me. Even in death, my mates remain trapped with the captain. In joy and in sorrow, I'll never forget the strands that were ripped away from me. I'll be buried in this lake forever to my last gasping breath. Try as I might to escape the rising waters, only loneliness fills my lungs. Always told you I did. Wait, are we meeting her already? Rope, grab tight or sink. You. How long have you been here? Always been here. Oh, damn, now we get a proper look at these whales. Yeah, damn, that's pretty horrifying. Smells level, rises to 40. Smell gains consumption. Well, she already had that. But I'm very glad that they gave her that upgrade because I just came into here with a literal level 0 ID. Whale guts. Only 3 floors, but, okay, yeah, this floor definitely seems to be pretty big. Straight into combat. Fixed member needed. Expected. I'm not gonna put her in slot 1 though. You two, you go, you go, you go, you go. Pretty good team, I think. Why might take him? Just so we get more of a piratey theme for the first level. I'll figure out if he's effective or not. Probably gonna be some new kind of enemy here. The immediate sensation upon waking up was that it was moist and cold, yet oddly warm in some places. Where are we? There's this long river-like thing. If we follow it, maybe there'll be something at the end of it? Hong Lu, how can you always be so calm about everything? Is he? I think that's just how that fella is with pretty much everything. No, that's not what I'm... I mean, where do you guys think this is? We just... I am well aware. We rode into the maws of the beast of our own volition. Not long ago, I'm proposing that we enter the stomach of the whale that devoured the Golden Bow. You're mad. All that thrashing is finally sending off the deep end. I'm just going there for my mission, and the Golden Bow happens to be in the way. Yeah, we saw this. I'll leave it up to you. Go to the manager, since their decision matters the most. This company, me, we're both just trying to find a way to reach our goals. That's all this is. Besides, does anyone have a better idea? That thing swallowed the Golden Bow, and the Golden Bow really counteracts that damn powdered whale's powderification effects, then we just might be able to survive without being affected by it. Getting affected by it. That's a gamble, Issy. There's just... Yeah, you should know. It's one of your favorite things. Ha! What do you think, manager? Ismail looked at me with expectant eyes as though she knew I had no choice but to agree to this plan. Her eyes were telling me, you came this far for the Golden Bow. You're not going back empty-handed now, are you? 6 hours. If I don't hear anything from you in 6 hours, LCA will be taking over the rest of this mission. Oh great, so we'll have you, who did nothing, getting replaced by LCA, who saved my life one time. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, LCA takes over the mission then, what? Well, if they hear the very unfortunate news that all of you decided to row into the whale's belly and get yourself trapped, they'll be having a long internal discussion about how they could blow that powdered whale apart. If we, as a company, possess the capability to blow a whale apart, why have we not used that yet? We should be freaking exterminating every last one of these things. The city as a whole should be doing this. These whales are my least favorite thing that there is. Why don't we do this? Then a very lengthy battle will ensue. Okay, so let me get this straight. If we fail to find the Golden Bow stuck somewhere inside the whale's stomach in 6 hours, you won't hesitate blowing us to smithereens along with the whale. Did I get that right? I will not relay that comment. Faust, what do you think of our odds? Our odds are non-zero, but it may as well be nil. At least with the currently known variables. So we have a chance. Do you have any other ideas that might get us the Golden Bow? No, not at this moment. What I can tell you, however, is that we have a history of dramatically completing missions with a veritably low chance of success. Okay then, let's get this done. Indeed, the lack of a plan becomes the plan itself. This solidifies the veracity of my new theory even further. Luckily, we didn't lose any sinners on the way down. All 12 of them made it down here just as we planned. But, guys, where's the boat? The boat was nowhere to be seen. Well, unfortunate. We're going to go into combat now. With what? Okay, combat is so far just regular politified whales who fade in and out of the universe. Except for the powder white mermaids. Those guys don't seem to have this attribute. Interesting. Also, this combat encounter is going to be a bit interesting because we are fighting with brand new units here. And also just not very frequently used units. Okay, that I forgot he's a boy user. Surprising, or no, I guess it's actually not surprising that there'd be no new enemies. Wait. Why who just attacked? Didn't seem to do anything though. You're still, yeah, you only took 2 damage from that whole onslaught, so. This is only a one-wave thing, so like of all the things that of all, the history of things of all time, that is not any of the bad ones.
탈출 개체가 정리되었습니다.
Proceeding steady. I don't actually know what the story is of the DC. I should read their plot sometime. I've never gotten any ideas from them. I would be kind of interested in like knowing what their whole gimmick is. Whale guts. I'll do at least one more. Definitely gotta end soon though.
정수 준비 끝.
But a little bit more of the whale.
전원.
Men, we'll commence a search. The boat must be found as soon as possible. No, there is no need for a search. 400 meters to your right, there is the boat.
나쁘지 않은 관찰.
Quite observant you are. Let's not waste any time and return to the boat. Allow me to finish. There is the boat in a ditch. 75% of its hull integrity has been breached and its remains are scattered on the ground. Well then. Wow, so this was a piece of our boat then, huh? That vessel was designed to be used more than 3 times. Hong Wu was pointing at the pitiful sight of an absolutely busted-looking pieces of the propeller. I miss Watson so much. Absolutely busted-looking pieces of the propeller. He never would have made that kind of mistake. Oh, to be exact, busted pieces of the propeller and what appeared to have once been our boat's engines. Something coming to a sputtering halt amidst the wreckage. Thus it rests here forevermore. This would have been quite the painful sight for Mika and Song. I love how he cares about people, right? Like, not many people do here, but like, I didn't even remember Mika and Rain's names, but now he still thinks about what they'd think about this. That's sad. This is a pretty painful sight for us, too. So what do we... Manager? You can still sense the golden bow, right? Yeah. When I get the lobotomy court branch, I can definitely feel that it's somewhere in here. But it's also pretty far away, so I can't tell where it exactly... Great. Are you ready to turn the clock? What's that about turning the clock? Oh. The whale's power had taken over their bodies and minds. More Limbus brand ones. Of course, it only makes sense that this place is crawling with mermaids. Yep. Here we go, more mermaids. Not super politified, which is incredible. You'd think you'd politify a hell of a lot faster inside the thing. Right, nope, this is still just a regular battle, meaning that we're stuck targeting everybody, which means there'll be some annoyances. If the game's auto-target will never target the people I want. That went pretty well, though. Even these guys are reacting very well to most of the enemies being invisible. Turn one staggers, we got some kills, yep. I don't think we have anything to worry about from regular enemies so far. Oh, yep, and we got a self-destructive purge coming. That's basically a guaranteed win. Perfect. And we even got a double hit. Very good. And unrestrained violence. Excruciating study, which I've never even seen before. That's actually not seemingly very good. But damn, this is the most amount of like staggered and low morale. Yeah, they've got nothing going for them anymore. There they go, Deadzo. Alright. One more level. Yeah, let's bounce before more of those mermaids show up. Where? We're trapped inside a whale. Are we gonna end up looking like them too? You know, we've been devoured.
지금 당장은
The golden bowels inside Dante's head is likely counteracting the purification effects on the sinners'
막을 수 있을
bodies.
겁니다. 하지만
There is no guarantee that this defensive effect would last forever. Still, it's definitely helping.
환경이 변해버렸으니까요.
We must take into account that we are in an unknown environment. In other words, spending too long here could turn us into mermaids, just like them. I wasn't sure if I could bring back a sinner that's turned into a mermaid. But where do we even go? I don't have even the slightest idea as to where we might be.
이상하네요.
Weird. I didn't know it could rain inside a whale's belly. I was still unsure where to go, so much that I was starting to feel completely lost, when Honglu suddenly blurted something out about rain. What are you talking about?
아,
Oh, it's just that I felt a few droplets of water on my shoulder.
야,
Wait,
우리는 이거.
so this is the first place we've landed on after the whale swallowed us whole, in it? Oh, no, nothing. I got a message. We're fine. Right.
내가 가끔
Sorry,
당연한 게
just
헷갈려서
sometimes need someone to
그러는데
confirm my common senses.
보통 음식을
When you
먹으면
eat something,
제일
where does it
먼저
usually
그쪽으로
land first?
그거야 당연히
My
위장이지.
stomach, of course. My poor starving stomach. I see your point, Heathcliff.
위장에선
The stomach constantly secretes acid in order to digest the food effectively.
학교에서 배웠던 것
Yeah, I
같아요.
think I learned about it in school. It's usually some kind of powerful acid
맞는 것들을
that dissolves everything it touches. We gotta go. We gotta move.
아,
Oh.
그래서 물이
So that's
떨어진
why my
위치에
clothes
50분간이나
melted when the
떠먹으면
water touched. Feels a bit prickly to Honglu. Honglu. You gotta vocalize these things. I stared at Honglu's shoulder. Something had burned. Something had burned off the surrounding. Are we fated to become horrids so soon after our arrival?
하나 긍정적인
There
발견을
is
보고
one
있습니다.
positive discovery, however. This creature appears to share similar biological mechanisms and shapes to an ordinary organic life form. Everyone, we gotta run! I don't care how many pieces of you there are left. Just make sure that there's something left for me to bring back. Alright, yeah, we said we were gonna do one more stage. We're gonna do one more stage. So then it looks like the next one's a story, so that should be easy too. Alright, yep, I'm liking this team so far.
제압을
걱정 마시오.
Just different paladin twine mermaid, okay.
생명은
Alright, I forgot that, like, these things. Oh yeah, and I forget ego resources stay in dungeons. It's been so long since I did a story dungeon, I forgot that they work the same way as mirrors. In that case, we do probably have to be a little bit more mindful of when and how we bring Sinclair places, because we don't want to bring him into a boss when he's at negative 45, but we definitely want to bring him everywhere we go.
나이스. 하나 제꼈다.
Okay, wait, what was that that did that puff of healing? 50 less SP. That better just be a U thing. Doing repeat, yep. Turn. Definitely wasn't that, because that's just a resonance. I don't know what it was that just gave us that weird puff of healing. But I'll take it. All of you use your crappier skill just for the moment.
탈출
Yeah,
개체
because right now things are going perfectly fine. So we'll make sure to save your oranges for when they are more needed.
걸어가지. 정신 못 차릴 개체가 약화된 것 같습니다. 탈출 개체가
엄청난
전개되었습니다.
공격이었어.
탈출 개체가
당연할 만한걸.
전개되었습니다.
And there we go. Victory Royale. That was quick. Oh yeah, since that was so quick, yeah, let's make it to the elevator. I think that is a perfectly reasonable stopping point for the first floor. Just choose the elevator. And so we ran, trying to weave our way between the pouring stomach acid, without even knowing where we were supposed to go.
Yeah.
Wow, man, what a funny sight, eh? Funny? That's more suspicious than funny. You're too loud. Great, now we caught their attention. Oh? People? Inside the well? But who's there? Wow. Hey, I heard you guys talking down there. Does mermaids speak? We're not mermaids. Ever seen a mermaid this chatty? Their politification effects have only partially progressed.
그럼 뭐야?
So what does that make them? Half human, half fish? Well, we don't got much time, so I'll make it short. This zone floods with acid every 10 minutes or so. Unless you guys are all made of steel. Oh, hi, Sato! You can't redeem that if you don't have VIP. Did you read that right? That is the redeem to get rid of your VIP. It is 11,853 channel points to get VIP. No, you gotta save up. I set it to a very specific cost for a reason. As you can see, I have now put a lot more thought into all the regime costs and calculated exactly how much they should each cost. Rather than how previously they were just kind of random. But look at the prices. I put a lot more thought into them. You better decide fast. Either take the rope we're about to lower down, or become sludgy nutrients for the whale and be one with it forever and ever. You say that, but actually, on average, prices went down because of this. They just became weirder. Be one with it forever and ever. Oh, even if you were to all turn to sluds, we can still salvage your weapons. We don't got nothing to lose. Some of them are already starting to melt. Damn, we really gotta get out of here then. Do we even have a choice? It was 5k. Now it's 11k, what do you mean? No, it was 10k before. So it's gone up a little bit, but not that much. Rope now! Right to the point, Heathcliff. They muttered something amongst themselves as though they found something funny about this situation, and tossed an odd-looking rope in our direction. This rope feels funny. It's probably people. That rope, right? That's made out of capillary pulled straight from its lungs. It'll last more than an hour, even in its stomach acid. Greg, why do you even ask that? Ugh, I hate it. With Radia and her grumblings in tow, we struggled up the bundle of capillary rope. For you. I don't know who you guys are, but thanks. Oh yeah, what a catch. We'll net this upwards of 3 gold coins for this. Hold on. 3 gold coins? You guys don't use Ein, or however you pronounce the city currency? What is the exchange rate here? What are we dealing with economically? I think this tick-tocking friend might be worth more than that. Cats? You think you fished us up? I mean, in a literal sense, they did. Ooh, you look cool. We come here every once in a while to check if anyone's washed up, yeah? But most of them poor castaways are already almost full mermaids by the time we find them. In a matter of minutes, they're all rearing to kill us. And the rest are just your everyday mermaids. Huh. I wonder if they got any survivors from the recent Limbus Company event then. By which I mean, like, the literal Limbus Company before team members. Like, odds are high one of them is still on here, right? If they're saving some people. Ah, so this is a special occasion then? This is probably the first time ever we found sailors that could not only talk, but also weren't halfway turned into mermaids. Okay, so never mind. There's nobody. So why do you guys come here every once in a while then? The clock friend here keeps tick-tocking. Are they saying something? Doubt they're a full-on robot. Tragically not, no. Don't most people prefer to keep the ability to speak even when replacing their bodies with prosthetics? Guess the trends have really changed since we got here. So that buddy there, well, it's a long story, but yeah, they can't communicate normally. All good. Everyone's got a story they don't want to tell. We can sympathize a little. Talking ain't the easiest thing to do. Consider yourselves lucked out, fellas. You guys ran into us of all things. Because we'll be getting out of here real soon. We followed their confident guiding steps, but there's no way to look at the situation without a bit of suspicion. Where do you think they're taking us? What if they're leading us into a trap? If they were trying to attack us, they would have done so when we were almost at the top of the cliff. We were completely vulnerable to attacks there. Good point. And Isabel opened her mouth as though she was about to say something, then stopped herself before turning around. Looked as though she hadn't finished processing her thoughts yet. I'm sure I've seen that harpoon before somewhere. So what ship are you guys from again? It's called the Limbus. You probably haven't heard of it, yeah. Well, talk straight, man. It's not like you're a mermaid. Who's your captain? If they're from U-Corp, then their name might just ring a bell. Who's our captain again? I don't know, guys. I've never taken the helm. Not sure if I can call myself a captain here. The helm, forsooth. This be all about who handles the wheel. I am quite well aware of our captain. Sauron is our captain indeed. Nope, never heard of him. Guess it's really been a while then. He scratched his head. Captain Sauron clearly didn't ring a bell. You, how long has it been since you were trapped in here? 8 months. Oh, dumbass, this is our 3rd year. The last count was at 644 days, so I don't know, AD. I quit counting the days a while ago. I've completely lost track of time since getting stuck deep inside where the sun don't shine. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you don't have a clock, there'd be literally no way to gaze. Like, I don't even know how you'd count time in here. Unless it's... You count by the 10-minute cycle, build a clock out of that. That's literally the only way I can conceive of to track time in here. I see. I know only one person who ties a knot to their harpoon like that. Oh, this? It's called the Desperat's Knot. Even in our town, it's only the experienced few knows how to tie it. So they're here? I think I know you. Isabel comes to a sudden stop. So do our guides. Not because of what she said. Are we there? I know I've said we're gonna stop any second now. A couple of seconds now. But... Do we stop here? It's the first checkpoint. I really gotta go to bed sometime soon. I guess we're just gonna leave it off here. Alright, gang. Let's go to window. Next stream is probably gonna be sometime very soon. I don't know when exactly, but it'll be sometime soon. And that will be that. Oh, in the meantime, let me we got a seasonal reward of defeating 1,000 enemies. So that's 3 more boxes. And because we're done for the night, I can convert the rest of these into modules. And that can indeed get us another module. You know, I wonder, Is it worth it to dispense some guys here? The remaining characters that I want are DCI Rodian and R-Corp 4th Pack Ismail. Maybe I'll just save up for a little while longer. Otherwise, I'm in a pretty good position right now. The only other thing I think I might want to do is upgrade Don Quixote. How much does it get you to 40? 86. That's too much. In that case, yeah, let's just end it off here. Alright, nighty-night, everybody. Appreciate everybody who stopped by. I had a really good time with this stream. Very much enjoyed it. Now, I'm going to quickly see if I know anybody who's live right now to see if I could get y'all a raid partner. If not, we'll just end it off. Alright, I do happen to have a friend who's live right now, so let's raid y'all on over. So let's raid Mango Framer. No raid message this time. I don't think we got enough people for that, but let's just head on over and wish him well. He's playing a really cool game called In Stars in Time, and I'll see y'all later.